All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, are two great kings, the gods that the King James Bible speaks of, which again, the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, who the world in ignorance calls Christ. True name is Yahweh Shai. Second of all, I want to give the honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Elder Tahar and on down, that rule and teach well. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hopeful elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. All right, so I just want to do a short lesson of how alone the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And I want to name the video update on coming to a city near you. All right. And Lord wills, brothers, can see on the screen the inspiration for this lesson comes from this article that I have here. And this is for fair use purposes only. I'm not using this for any monetary gain, just for educational purposes only. Fair use, fair use. For the New York Times. And it says Trump says Chicago and New York are next for federal crackdown on crime. All right, so it says President Trump said on Friday that he planned to target Chicago and New York for his next federal crackdown on crime, suggesting he was willing to use active duty troops on city streets. At an event in the Oval Office, Mr. Trump credited his federal takeover on Washington's police force the deployment of the National Guard for cleaning up the city. He has used inaccurate figures to portray the D.C. as a lawless and crime has been falling before the takeover. Right. Like it just said right here, a lot of analysts or whatever are coming out saying, DC is bad, but it's not as bad as he was making it out to be. Certainly not as bad as places like Chicago and I think it's East New York, I think, or wherever I think it's East New York or the Bronx. I seen statistics showing how bad it was, and I think again East New York and around the Bronx or whatever, it's supposed to be pretty bad there. And Chicago has been a war zone, we know, for some time now. So that'll be very interesting to see how them Jake respond to what they was doing in Chicago, just running. I mean, not Chicago, but Washington D.C. Just running up on them. What are you doing here? What are y'all doing out here? Y'all can't loiter here. Y'all gotta keep it moving. Arresting, putting men in handcuffs that were in wheelchairs. All right. It'd be real interesting to see if these jakes keep that same energy. It says we haven't had to bring in regular military, which we're willing to do if we have to, Mr. Trump said. After we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe. Mr. Trump then called Chicago a mess and said that we'll straighten that one out. Probably next, that will be our next one after this. It won't even be tough, he said, adding, I think Chicago will be our next and then we'll help with New York. Which he's gonna have to put rifles in those people's hands. Again, to deal with them jakes in like Chicago or whatever. And again, I think it's the Bronx, New York, places like that. He's gonna have to put weapons in their hands, them troops' hands, especially Chicago. It says later a report asked Mr. Trump if he had taken any considerate steps towards bringing a federal crackdown to Chicago. The president said he had not. When we're ready, we'll go in and we'll straighten out Chicago just like we did D.C., he said. Mr. Trump's comment suggested that he would use the crackdown on Washington as a template for other cities across the country. But he would have limited ability to deploy the show of force in the same way he did in D.C. Right, because basically D.C. is his own private, basically like his own country, pretty much, because he has more power in D.C. than he does around the other 49 states. He has more power in D.C. All right, because D.C. is basically its own thing. Or the three city states is basically its own again, basically like his own country, really. when you think about it, DC really is easy to be even. I mean, it's in Babylon. It's a part of Babylon, but it abides by different rules. I'll say it's different rules that can be implemented or used in DC than anywhere outside of DC in the other 49 countries, other 49 states. Slovakia. It says its unique status as the federal district, not a state, means Mr. Trump can wedge greater control in Washington than in other cities, while the Home Rule Act allows the president to take temporary control of DC's police force during what he portrayed as a emergency. Similar law does not exist for other cities. And while Mr. Trump controls the DC National Guard, governors typically command the guards in their states. But it didn't matter. In California, he still deployed them there, so it don't matter. All right, we get all this constitution and all that trash. None of that shit really matters anymore, man. This man, he's doing whatever he wants to do. All right. Like Elder Tahar used to, always bring out what George Bush Jr. said. The Constitution ain't nothing but a piece of paper. That's all it is. They don't care about that shit. They don't go by that shit. They don't abide by that shit. All right. So it was just a bunch of old idiots, old men with bullshit, basically. The only reason why the First Amendment, which I really shouldn't call it, I guess, well, most of it is BS, but the most important one is the freedom of speech. The only reason why that was allowed, so the words of the Heavenly Father could be pushed. But now that we're coming to the end, all right, where the Lord's about to take his men off the hedges, that whole First Amendment thing is out the window too. All right, the right, which that's really been dead. The First Amendment, freedom of speech. But again, it was only allowed because the words of the Heavenly Father had to be pushed. All right. And we gotta believe with everything going on in the world, the mass awakening of our people, that the elect is either sealed, the 144,000 is sealed, and we're just waiting for the rest to hear the word, and the Heavenly Father wake them up. Yahweh Shem Yahweh shall wake them up. But it says, that said, Mr. Trump will have a number of ways to display a show of force. Courts have already upheld his federalization of the National Guard troops in California, right? So he's doing whatever he wants to do. He's going around Congress. He go around anybody he wants, all right? Most likely emboldening the president to deploy other state guard troops. Mr. Trump could also order a surge of federal law enforcement officers for the FBI, the Drug Enforcement Administration, and other agencies to descend on Chicago. But the most extreme step Mr. Trump could take would be to invoke the Insurrection Act to deploy the active duty military for civilians law enforcement in American cities. Mr. Trump has muled doing so in the past in response to protests, but said on Monday that such steps had not been necessary. It says the president has been suggesting for weeks that he might deploy, and Lord will, he'll do it today or next week. Start today or next week. He might deploy the National Guard troops to other cities, including Chicago, which has experienced a historical drop in homicides. The city, and again, it's still bad. It was the other day. It was a shooting where people got killed. People got put to death. All right. And, things is just going to get way worse. With the cost of living goes up. Because again, when the cost of living and things go up, when goods and services and things go up, crime goes up. Crime is going to go up. The cutting of government benefits and things like that, like food stamps and Section 8 housing. People being thrown in the streets. People ain't able to feed their children or feed themselves. You're going to see a huge spike in crime. All right. So he might be seeing that already and know it's coming or whatever, because he knows how tougher things are about to get. And he's just going there and just, putting them out there in the streets now. Maybe, Lord willing, soon that goes down, which we know ultimately is going to happen. The city's mayor, Brandon Johnson, responded to Mr. Trump's comments, calling a potential deployment of National Guard troops unlawful and unsustainable, which, again, he's doing whatever he wants to do.
Insurrection.
Look at the word insurrection.
Insurrection.
Right, insurrection. A violent uprising against authority or the government, and that's what's coming. Rebellion, revolt, and uprising. Like the scriptures speak about uproars of the people, and that's what this is exactly what this could cause. All right, this Second Ezra chapter 9. Okay, so they're gonna play Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 3. Therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes, which is going on like crazy lately, all right, really for some time now, and uproars of the people in the world, right? Uproars of the people in the world, again, the insurrection. All right, a major uprising. All right. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 18. I'll start at verse 17. And the man should desire to go into a city and should not be able. All right, places. Right, these it's like it. All right, yeah, these bigger cities. All right, turning into straight up and down war zones where they have to set up checkpoints. All right, or cut the city or block the cities off where people can't go in and out of them. You know, that's a martial law takeover. Verse 18, because of their pride, the city should be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men should be afraid. Right, for their pride, the city should be troubled. And again, the scriptures call Babylon that great city. Babylon that great city. All right, so the whole Babylon is going to be in trouble. All right, especially these major, cities. All right, but again, the scriptures call Babylon the Great. Babylon that great city. And really, trouble is coming is going to be in Babylon, coast to coast. All right, but like I said, because of their pride, the city should be troubled, and houses should be destroyed, and men should be afraid. And the cities is going to start with is places like Chicago, New York, down here in Florida, the major cities. Like you already got Alligator Alcatraz, which the judge or whatever is ordering that place to be shut down in like 60 or 90 days. So we'll see what happens with that. And then since the other day, we was talking about opening up another one up here in northern Florida. Places like Los Angeles, Baltimore, places like Trump named. All right, those cities are going to be troubled because again, when poverty goes up, crime goes up right along with it, and more poverty is coming. Again, with these cutting of these SNAP benefits, inflation continuing to rise, and wages ain't keeping up with it because pay ain't going up. Inflation continues to go up, or the price of everything continues to go up, and paychecks ain't going up. Paychecks are staying the same. In some cases, dropping because people ain't getting the hours. Jobs are laying off. So with that again, that equals poverty, and poverty equals more crime ultimately. All right. So yeah, it's about to go down, man. All right. Again, the great insurrection is coming. I just get to speak about an insurrection coming on those that fear the Lord. A violent uprising against authority or government. Which again, like I said in previous videos, that movie Civil War, which made absolutely no sense at all. It feels like we're playing it out in real time because the masses of people, even Trump supporters, are coming against him for his policies and things that he's doing. All right. And then that movie really didn't explain, why they was, coming after him, what he did to make them come after him. All right. And yeah, it looks like we're playing it out in real time. Just me speaking as a man, it looks like we're playing it out in real time, which it could, start for many reasons, why they're coming after her. But it feels like we're playing that movie out in real time. All right. Because in that movie, you remember it seems like benefits and things got cut off. Because I believe in the beginning of the movie, I got to go back and watch it. But I think at the beginning of it, they was giving out food or water or something like that. Something like that. Um, People didn't have it basically, and they were depending more on the government, and the government was rationing stuff. Um, I think it was something. Was he giving out what? I forget what the opening scene was about, but it just feels like we're playing that movie out in real time because we know it was just all hell broke loose, but it never explained why, and it could be due to just how this government is handling everything, and eventually people just lose it and go on against an uprise, an uproar, all right, and just start tearing shit up. All right, so it just feels like we're playing that movie out in real time. But we know that movie is a prelude of what's coming to America, which the scripture refers to that time as Jacob's trouble. All right, which is coming around the corner. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory again unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kahakwadash. Double honors again to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and safety to you, brothers, that pushes truth and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.